A thing that happens to me a lot is that I have to relearn the same lesson over and over again in like a bunch of different contexts. And I don't know if that's a human thing or like an ADHD thing. I suspect it's a human thing. Um, but one of the things that I am consistently trying to unlearn is masking, right? And the funny thing is that I used to think that masking was just about how I showed up in the world with other people. So when I was talking to folks in public or how I showed up at work. And as I get more and more into creating like a business and like building this thing that is neuro-friendly, learning that unmasking means confronting the ways that I hold perfectionism as a weapon against myself. Um, And a lot of that comes from a feel of being seen failing, or even really seen trying. Um, because when I see other people doing stuff and succeeding, right, I'm like usually seeing their highlight reel, and my brain fills in the blank as in, oh yeah, actually they probably already, they're always perfect. They are always figuring it out, even when they're struggling. Like it's not even that bad. But like I myself, I struggle, and thus people shouldn't be able to see that. Um, and it's so funny because I've been trying to make sure that I'm creating content for YouTube and creating a podcast and doing the stuff that people are always telling me, like, oh, we would love to see this. And then being like, yeah, but nobody wants to see that from me. There's already all this stuff out there. And also, like, I can't build a script. I can't stay on a script. Uh, what am I gonna do? Right? Like, I'm not wearing my makeup. I don't have like a beautiful setup. I don't have like a ring light. Um, if I'm going to do this, I should do it polished. I should do it all the way. And then as I get into it and I set the bar higher and higher for myself, it becomes impossible to do. And in reality, that is my mask, right? Because masking is just our brain's way of protecting us from disconnection, right? And judgment and shame are such a huge form of disconnection. And so perfectionism is often us going, okay, I have to make sure I do this in a way that nobody can say anything bad about it. Nobody can notice that, like, I have, I don't know, human skin with pores or wrinkles. Nobody can know that, like, I make mistakes. Nobody can know that, like, when I launch a thing on my website, it had broken links. Nobody can see me not be perfect. But I also hold in my head the knowledge that, like, because of my ADHD, I make mistakes. So I am not perfect. And so, as I dream bigger, my mask starts to get real panicky and want to take over and wants to make me smaller and smaller. And so I've been sort of in this weird tension of like, I really want to do all these really cool things. I want to explore and learn. And the nature of the business that I have somehow created involves doing that in front of people, and that's so scary. And so I've been like in this like push pull of like making stuff but not showing it to anybody, and then feeling so much shame about not showing it to anybody, and then not knowing what to do about it. um and it's all come to a head in like the last week. I've been waking up at 3 a.m. and I've been doing the spiral that I've been doing for my entire life, which is uh I am not good enough to maintain this level of expectation. I can't do it. It's gonna fail. And then within like three mental leaps, it usually ends up with like, we're going to lose our house and we're going to end up on the street and like the government's going to take my child away, right? Like my brain goes so fast from like, I have made a mistake. And there was a typo in a link to like, we're going to lose everything. And again, that is my brain trying to protect me from the ultimate outcome of actually losing everything. That is the scariest thing to me. And it thinks it's helping me. My brain thinks it is helping me by making me scared because one of the fun ways that my ADHD brain works is my nervous system is motivated by novelty, interest, urgency, and competition, right? And urgency has been consistently across my entire life the one that I have been able to lean on the best because it's the one that is most normalized, right? Like that idea of like, we're down to the wire. I can operate under stress. Yeah, we can. It's just that it's really hard to live an entire life always in a sense of urgency. But right now, my brain goes, we should use that one. That's the right one. Uh, and I get it, right? Like that is a neural pathway that is well worn. It is easy to fall right into it, right? That is a clear channel. And it's not sustainable. I'm not sleeping. Everything feels scary because, again, that urgency requires me to keep that level of expectation high. And so, in order for me to counteract that feeling of urgency and terror and fear and spiral, I have to lean into the opposite. And that's vulnerability. Um, and it's funny because, again, the lesson that I have to learn over and over again is that vulnerability is the ultimate connector. And when I created Neurofriendly, like I built that business on the idea of like building connection and community, being in community with people. And that requires trust and vulnerability. And so instead of trying to hide the things that I had broken or not done, the way that my brain wanted to stay safe, I told people about it. I told people about my broken links. I told people about how terrifying it was to make a reel where I was in my underwear on Instagram. That was so scary. Especially at the exact same time, there was a whole thing going on in another like comment section where people were just eviscerating me because I accidentally went viral again. And people are not super nice after a certain point. And so like I decided to just talk about the things that were scaring me. And in classic, like human form, when we share our fears, other people see themselves reflected in them and they respond in kind. And we find our people, we find our support. And it has been that like incredible, powerful learning moment again of like, oh, people don't want perfection from me. I don't want perfection from anybody else. Right? Like that's not what I'm looking for from somebody. I want to feel safe and vulnerable and curious and able to explore what it means to be human, not looking for perfection. And so, like I'm recording this right now because I have recorded about 7 different versions of like a YouTube video where I'm trying to be like polished. I have my makeup, I had a cute dress, I turn on all the lights. I was like, I'm gonna say all the right words. We can say all the right words. And then there were no right words. And I thought that that was a failure on my part. I thought I was failing. I didn't have the right words, and people are expecting me to have the right words. What's going on? There are not right words, but there are true vulnerable words. All I can ever do is just speak to what is true to me. And so that's what I'm here doing, talking about how existing as a human on the internet, building a business, having a chaos brain, how it is terrifying. And how when the terrifying feeling gets a little bit bigger than the excitement feeling, my brain kicks into high gear, throws my mask on, and tries to make sure that I play it smaller, that I play it with fewer flaws that other people can notice. And I don't want to do that. I've lived a good portion of my life terrified of making mistakes, and I'm not willing to do that anymore. And so that's what this is. This is me talking about my mistakes and my fears and hoping that maybe that feels familiar. Not because I want you to have made any mistakes, but just because I think it's important that we see ourselves in each other as humans, right? So I hope you enjoy this channel. There's going to be more content that's a little bit less rambly, maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Chaos brains. They're kind of magical, but I hope you follow, like, subscribe. I actually don't know what all the buttons are. I am literally echoing the videos that we watch on YouTube with other people because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna just be out here learning and failing in public again. But I hope you're here for the ride.